Tell them give me all the bells and the whistles.
I got a legend in the building, songwriter, rapper, MC, director, actor, photographer. She do a lot, man. And personally, she the queen of the D, if you ask me, you know.
Thank you.
But who cares about, you know, I've been following you for a long time. Just first of all, I got Miz Korona in the building.
Thank you.
And I appreciate
you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you for taking the time out, man. Like I say, just for a person with your stature in the game, just to, you know, show love, that just shows how much, you know, humility you have and just how much you reach out and how much, you accessible. If it's for a good cause, you messing with it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, I was brought up, you know, to give people the opportunity that you would want. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Regardless of what level of success you obtain, it's like, you know, you still want to treat people with the type of respect that you would want to be given. So,
Absolutely.
You know, I don't walk around with this, you know, cocky, I'm bigger or better than anybody attitude. It's like, you know what I mean? You reached out to me, we communicate via social media. You asked me to be on here. I'm like, okay, bet, you know, I ain't even asked you what the show was about. It was like, okay, you know what I mean? Because I felt just by seeing some of your interactions that you seem like a cool person. You know what I mean? So I just try to interact with folks from a genuine place, because I was always taught to give a person the opportunity to show you who they are. Don't just assume that you know who they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just welcome people in. Sometimes that's a fault of mine. I welcome people in and then they just be kind of on some snaky shit.
But sometimes you could tell, right? Like you just said, sometimes you can tell if somebody just putting on a costume, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
you could tell, you know, I mean, it's been a lot of relationships that I've had with people in the past where, you know, whether I was a mentor, so to speak, or, you know, whatever, it's like I would see something in the person and then, you know, want to highlight that or push that or help them get to the next level. And their intention was strictly that.
To drop the ball.
It wasn't even about building a relationship. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, I'm about building relationships with people.
Yeah.
So, you know, once I realized that they only in it to
gain.
Exactly. Get to the next step or get next to somebody that they feel or felt could get them, you know,
benefit what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, those relationships will fall by the wayside, and then people come back and try to circle back like, damn, what's up, sis? It's been a while.
I had a good one. You know, that's just like a relationship. It's just like being in a relationship. Oh, I had a good one, man.
I'm like, nah, you fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of play.
You burnt
and
that
it's
bridge.
not even like on no intimate relationship. It's just like relationships with artists in the community. It's relationships with, you know, social justice, social activists, people tend to, this society is weird. People be weird as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm still in that small little bracket of people that have that genuineness, that we just gravitate to folks because we like that energy. You feel what I'm saying? And we believe in holding on to good people. It's not about, you know, my friend said something in the post a couple weeks ago. She said, we're all put here to be used, but that does not mean that you misuse somebody. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, yeah, use me, use my connection, utilize the information that I have, but don't misuse me. You know, and so all those folks who have misused me in the past, they just lost out.
They gone. You know, you know, you leave them where they at, and that don't mean that I look down on you, or that don't mean that, you know, just, you know, bless your heart, and I see you when I see you. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be like, God bless you, God have you. Yeah. Wish you the best. But yeah, you know, so that's just how I operate. That's, you know, I operate from a place of love. I don't, you know, it's not about what another person can do for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't need nothing monetary from You know what I mean? So
and I appreciate that because, and I ain't gonna mention the name, right? Because, and I get it too, though, right? Because real quick before we get into your illustrious career and just how dope of,
illustrious. Come on now.
and how dope and how dope of a person you are. Just to tap on that, I'm just, I'm because I do music myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was just trying to find another lane to transition out because it's like, how long am I going? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't do it for the fame or to get bread. Now, a check would be nice, duh. We got to feed our family.
Right.
But I genuinely do it because I'm dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but just to transition out of the music game, I was like, okay, I like to talk. And actually my wife was the one that kind of just like spearheaded, like, yo, you like to talk, you very impressionable, start a podcast. Woo. So she kind of spearheaded the idea of that.
Well,
so
shout
I had
out to your wife. It's always a good woman behind some wonderful ideas. Shout out to her.
It is.
And thank her. I thank her too. I thank her for the communication and trying to, you know what I'm saying, trying to work out the kinks in this. So that's beautiful that you have a support system like that.
Absolutely, man. And I can go all day about our relationship because, I've been knowing her since 2004 when I was going to UAD, you know what I mean? And it's just been that. She's just been my support system since then. So, salute to her.
Yeah.
But I was tapping, I was just doing just like I had did you. I was tapping into somebody. I ain't gonna name a name, but he a battle rapper, right?
Okay.
And he was on Making the Band. I could say that without naming the name, but I'm like, I just, just a yes or no. I had reached out to him, gave him my spiel, like, yo, I'm starting a podcast and let's big you up. Let's put you on my platform and, and sit down and give you your flowers, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
$250. I'm like, and don't get me wrong. You're supposed to know your worth, right? But it was just like, I could tell like the way he was coming at it was just like, I had mixed feelings about it because I get it. It's still a business, right? And
it's business, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I don't really, and this ain't taking no shot at nobody, but I don't really see anybody from Making the Band circuit that's making any noise. So why would you want to be on somebody's platform is going to highlight you? You know what I mean? Because that means that this person still sees value in you. So, because I could look at it like, how long ago was 8 Mile? You feel what I'm saying? Like, and that's what most people recognize my face from. But those who know about my musical career, they know the name with the face.
Absolutely.
So you know what I mean? Like if somebody was just to see me online and be like, oh, that's old girl from 8 Mile. Let me get her on my show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, $250. But they really trying, they're not seeking Miz Korona, the artist, because I just dropped a EP.
Mm-hmm.
They just recognize
the virus that's out right now.
Thank you. They want to talk about that. So that was 15 years ago. You feel what I'm saying? 16, 17 years ago, however long. So I feel like people, and you should know your worth, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. You know what I'm saying? I only been on one podcast that even pressed the issue of giving me compensation. I just be like, fuck it, let's do it, because one, it keeps me relevant still.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at things from a totally different standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna make my money off my music. I'm gonna make my money from different avenues.
See, but and that's the thing. You just hit the nail on the head, because if you getting it regardless, then what's 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for you to take it, but if you getting it regardless, it's like, why not pay it forward? You know what I mean? But
at the same time too, you gotta, certain people look at things in a different perspective. I look at it like, you invited me onto your platform is gonna allow people who follow you, who may not know who I am. They might not have ever seen 8 Mile. They might not know nothing about Detroit hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Or hip hop in general, because I don't like to just categorize myself as just a Detroit hip hop artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm a national artist, but I'm born
Absolutely.
and raised in Detroit. You know, but I've touched.
But you hold the crown in the city. You know, you know what I'm saying?
But I've been blessed to tour overseas, so people know who I am. You know, throughout the world. But I'm a Detroit artist, so you know when they mention Detroit artists, you know what I'm saying. 9 times out of 10, if you know
your
history,
name gotta come up.
My name is gonna come up, but some people may not be familiar with either of those. I run into people who ain't never seen not one movie I've been in, because I've been in more than just one, but 8 Mile just so happened to be the biggest one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's get into that a little bit, because you know, let's start from the beginning, you know, because you are, like I say, you do have all these accolades. You do have awards. You've performed at the DIA. You done put on for the community. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When did the stage give birth to you? You know what I mean? When did you first start performing? And you know, how was that? Talk about that a little bit.
So initially, I started performing in elementary school. You know, talent shows, things like that. But I would say when people really started taking notice to who I was and recognizing like, yo, this young girl got something. Mm-hmm. You know, I was about 15, 16, you know, sneaking into a lot of the venues around the city, and whether it was the C-Note Lounge and going to Coco's House of Comedy. Mm-hmm. My bad.
Yeah, bless you.
Thank you. Going to Coco's House of Comedy. And for those who just saw me sneeze, I don't have the corona.
Yeah. You gotta get that disclaimer. Look, I was just at the barber shop and I was coughing. I had to tell my man, like, yo, calm down.
Right. Like I'm cool. Like, you can't even breathe wrong around people nowadays. But you know, going to Coco's House of Comedy, you know, Ebony Showcase, Napoleon's Retreat, things like that, you know. Made it to the hip hop shop the week before they shut down, and I people, it's so crazy because people associate me with the hip hop shop era. Like, you know, Miz Korona used to be there. She was young, and but I never got a chance to rap at the hip hop shop. You know what I mean?
And don't get me wrong, because a lot of my questions, see, I'm a young bull in the game, right? I'm 34, so. When I was just starting to get my feet wet, a lot of that stuff was fading out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Which kind of like hurt me, because it's like they were trying to redo everything, but you know, in the midst of them trying to redo everything, it was just like stuff. Like I say, stuff was getting boarded up. It was more, everybody more so wanted the club. Everybody more so. So a lot of those opportunities when I was coming up, it was just, you know, It was fading out. You know what I mean?
But you know, I mean, I look at it as an honor, but I always have to be honest and let people know, because you know that hip hop shop era is legendary. You know, so when people talk about the hip hop shop and the folks who used to be involved and attended, and you know, I tell people the honest truth. I never had the opportunity to perform at the hip hop shop. But you know, apparently my presence, people have been taking notice of who I was because they remember me being there. You know, but I never had the opportunity to perform, and it was simply because Proof didn't like my stage name.
Really? So have you always been Miz Korona?
No. I used to go by Pimpette back in the day. Yeah. So he harassed me actually, you know, for like 2.5 years.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, and it's like,
so get into that. So you pulling up, you know, you say about 16, 17,
about 14, between 14 and 16.
You pulling up, you like, yo, I'm dope.
My name is Pimpette.
I'm hard, I'm Pimpette. And he like, no, sis.
He was like, like gangster rappers up in here. You know what I'm saying? And see, that's the memory that I have of him trying to clown me because of my name. Like, and I'm like, I'm not no gangster rapper. And so going back that following week to try to prove myself, but it was closed. And I was just heartbroken, like, yo, I never, like, what? It's closed. It like, yeah, I was like, oh my God. So then,
and legendary spot, and that's the spot that was on 7 Mile, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You know, with Maurice Malone.
Yep. Shout out to Maurice Malone, man.
So you know, that was crushing to me to not be able to touch that stage because I would hear all of these stories about Proof and you know, the Rabies and 31 Flavors and all these cats up in there, but I never really heard female names except for Redbone. And so I'm like, and I think Najiri Earth no, I don't remember hearing her name at that time. I'm sorry, but I was like, yo, man, I gotta do it. But then other venues started to bubble and pop.
Okay.
And I'm glad that they did around that same time because that's where I started to lay my own foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it was like, oh shit, like, you know, yo, she is dope. But what's crazy is around a time when I finally decided to, being from the East Side, you know, you got certain venues, you got C Notes, you got like I said, Coco's House of Comedy, and it was like one other spot. I can't remember the name. It wasn't as popular as those two. And I would go to those and perform. But then when I like transitioned into Miz Korona, I'd be performing on the West Side as Miz Korona because, you know, people would just see me at those other venues on the East Side and just automatically I didn't even have to sign up. They would just call me.
Yo, come through.
So it's like, oh man, we got Pimp It Up. Oh, man, she keep going. And so once I started using Miz Korona, it's funny because people would have conversations and be like, yo, man, it was this girl at Napoleon's name, Miz Korona. Oh my gosh, she cold. Like, she ain't doper than my homegirl Pimpette.
Yeah. Not even knowing
that I was the same person.
Yeah, it's like being Clark Kent and Superman at the same time.
Yeah. It takes like DJ Babe and Lynn Swan them to tell those stories, but you know, it just used to be funny hearing that because I remember one time a dude was like, yo, we might have to have you go up against this girl named Pimpette because they think it. And I bust out laughing. I was like,
I'd have been like, go get her.
I was like, I am Pimpette. And he like, man, get the fuck out of here. I was like, I had to show him my tattoo and shit. Like,
but see, by early on, you not being able to get like or rock the mic, so to speak, right? It's still, like you just said, them seeing your face and you being in their faces, it still added to that mystique. Like, so when they did see you, it's like, yo, I see her face, like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It added to that mystique.
I was younger than those cats, you know what I'm saying? And when Proof finally did hear me rap at like Ebony Showcase, then he was like helping me get into other clubs.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Underage, I'm like having my cousin drive me over to these spots, and you know they be like, "Oh no, you know you ain't got no idea." He like walk up, vouch for me, and you know, and that happened like 2 times. I remember I was tripping because he had walked up behind me. I didn't even know that he was there, and I'm like, "Yo, man, like I'm just coming to. I don't even drink. I'm just coming to rap. After I rap, I'll leave." And they like, "Nah." He walks up. He like, yo, she good, she with me, and just walked in, and I was looking like this nigga never even let me rap at the thing. So I knew, like, that was the first time I was like, he didn't let me rap at the thing, and I'm like, okay, so I got to show my ass tonight, and that was the first time that he actually, well, to my knowledge,
what was the reception like?
Everybody was going, they was like, yo, like they was going crazy because one, I was the only female at the spot at the time, and I was young. And then 2, once they started doing a cipher, and I was able to freestyle and keep up with them, they was just like, "Yo,
okay."
You know, because a lot of individuals still to this day be like, "Man, I can't even freestyle," and I'm like, it just comes easily to me.
And I asked you to describe that scene because a lot of and okay, you were in the movie, right? But a lot of people to this day, and you say that was 16, that was a while ago, right?
Like
but to this day, a lot of people see that movie and get this image of our hip hop scene like it was like that was like verbatim, like that was just like, you know what I'm saying?
But that type of energy, that type of style, that didn't come until a little bit later. You know what I mean? Like the battle thing, that didn't come until a little bit later. Like when I was coming up in the hip hop shop era and like watching them, you see like Dan Cyphers by 10 from Slum Village would be in there doing him and my homeboy Sadiq, they be in there doing their little, and you got the incense going and oils and incense and shit. And so, I come from the hood. I'm from the east side. I'm looking at that was different to me. I was like, okay, it got the head wrap song. Because that's like the peak of the Badu era too.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, like these, because on the east side at the clubs, you had Mercenary Killers and Kilo Parker, and they was different.
Yeah.
They was gangster.
Yeah. You feel me?
And so I'm like, oh, these niggas is different. Like
it's different.
So yeah, but the battle thing didn't come about until
till later.
Yeah, but I witnessed M doing like a battle cipher before, but it wasn't even like a head-to-head battle competition that didn't come until like 97.
It was more so I'm a rhyme, then another person gonna rhyme like that, like you know what I'm saying. So it was still kind of like that cipher feel,
right? But it was like that type of battle at that time was like who had the best verse. It wasn't about playing the dozens on each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was,
fast forward to nowadays where you got to do research on the person, and you got.
And I remember they tried to pull me into that game. They tried to pull me into that. I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't have
Miz Korona. Hello, Miz Korona. You Smack call you right now, or who else? RBE or
URL. He could have died. They might call if they call me right now. They better have some hella bread and somebody.
They giving them bags out. They giving them bags out.
Listen, let me tell you.
Who is it? Lady Luck. She just got.
That was some years ago, right? Or they pulled her back in recently.
They pulled her back in. They just did a Queen of the Ring card, right? Lady Luck, and this was November.
Really?
A card called Queen of the Ring. Lady Luck got back up there. She came back out with the crown, and Lady Luck got back. And to be honest, a lot of people were saying Lady Luck 2-1. Like a lot of people were saying she got over a little bit.
Really?
Facts.
Yo, let me tell you something. Because when they was trying to get me to battle, one, they wasn't even offering no bread like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They wasn't even offering no bread like that. It was this one chick that was trying to call me out, I guess. And I'm like, who? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so far removed from that shit. I was like, dog, the last battle I did was on the big screen. Like, are they offering me some real money? Now that's the type of platform where I'm like, yo, well, where's the bread at? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
How is like me going up against somebody that I feel, not to say they beneath me, but I'm like, I'm not doing that. So you calling me out. Where's my money?
You feel
Y'all
me?
Get me out. You feel what I'm saying?
You want to holler at
me out to do something because it was the whole hype around the movie, you know what I'm saying, in that battle thing. So y'all calling me out, you want to use Vanessa from 8 Mile, because I know that's how y'all gonna market it. You know battles, whoever. So yeah, where my chips at?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of bread y'all offer me? And Quest and Marvel be like, man, you should probably just do it, sis. So the battle scene is going crazy, and it can help bring your numbers up. And I'm like, look, bro, if they gonna put me in a ring with Remy Ma or Lady Luck or somebody of that stature, then
maybe. But I'm not about to
somebody who trying
battle.
to
and now she really the one that's getting the look, because you follow what I'm saying. She the one getting the look, because this and shout out to everybody that's doing their thing. But if I'm Louis and she, you know what I'm saying, it's like, who's getting the look? Who is this benefiting? And ain't no bag involved. Who is this benefiting?
I was like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
And Marv, shout out to Marv. He just came off a tournament, and I was surprised that he even tapped into that. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? So
that was a tough one to watch.
yeah.
That was a tough one to watch. They both went crazy. I was just like, oh my
Yeah.
God. It had my nerves bad. Let me tell you, I got
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
It had my nerves bad. Look, that little motherfucker was talking so greasy to my brother. I wanted to punch his ass. And that's another reason why I just can't see myself doing that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause a motherfucker pulled up some shit on me, I know I'm going to resort to being the old me.
Yeah.
I'm
You
not fit. I'm
that
a
east side gonna
somebody.
come out of
I'm a fucking, and people be looking, they be like, "Oh, you just so nice." And I'm like, "Y'all better be. Y'all don't know
yeah.
that old me. I
Yeah.
will turn this bitch out like
Yeah.
hammer." But
Just cause I shake hands and kiss the babies don't mean
listen, I be like, "Hey man, God is good." That's all I can say.
so
Change
okay. So the hip hop shop, you in there, and then you start touching venues like let's say the shelter, stuff like that, and you start getting around like all these legends, right? Describe how it was for, especially at around the time where it's, and it still kind of is like a male dominated sport, right?
very much so.
So describe how it was for you. Like, was it firsthand open arms, or was it because they kind of knew who you were? Like, describe that.
It still took. Let me tell you, it took plenty of years.
Okay.
For people to even start showing me real love. It's still, you know what I'm saying?
It's still crazy.
Still to this day. All the years that I've had in the game, and the time that I put in.
And not to cut you off, right? But the industry don't make it no better, because even when you do say, and I'm guessing, right? Mm-hmm. But as a woman, I would think even when you do say, yo, I rap, or now they put you in the box and expect you to, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like
they've been doing that, you know what I'm saying?
It's almost like you don't hear these entendres, you don't hear this, you know what I'm saying? You don't hear these, you don't hear how these punchlines and these cadences. It's just like, you expect it. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like that. That's one of the reasons why I never signed to a major label, and I've always been a completely independent artist, because they only see what they see. You know what I mean? They don't care about all of that.
Yeah.
So, man, I forgot the question that you asked me right before, but
I was just asking, like, how was it, growing up? I mean, how was it being around that, that male dominated, you coming in.
So a lot of people did embrace me and still do, but at the same token, it's like, how after over 25 years in this business, mm-hmm. am I still considered one of the most slept on artists in Detroit? I paved the way for a lot of people. Men and women,
Talk about it.
I opened the doors for a lot of people. I walked a lot of folks into,
get in your bag. You know what I'm saying? Talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, because
and I'm not saying that to be funny, but it's the truth. You know what I mean?
Fact.
Like, I've given specific artists who have achieved things, they're everything from their stage name, ideas to whatever. So but I don't walk around with this whole nigga, I helped you, give me my credit. No,
you owe me.
I know what I did. I know what I did. You know what I did. But people will make mention, and I don't get caught up in those lists when folks be putting a list together of who they believe the top 20 artists are in the city. 9 times out of 10, my name ain't even on that list, but I'll be like, it's okay, because what matters to me is whether or not my fan base and my supporters are connecting with me. Mm-hmm. It ain't really even about with people in the community. Well, in this city, who they get caught up in the hype of these names and the who's new and who's who. Yeah. Like, okay, I'm glad my longevity speaks for itself.
I'm messing with, like, if you pop and get, then you know what I mean. And I guess, bro. Like, I try not to get. I try to know who I need to know, and then leave it at that. You follow what I'm saying?
I mean, and then too, it's like, you know, I had a real conversation with, you know, my cousin Fat Father a couple years ago, and you know, we was just talking about, because I feel like we both feel like we're criminally underrated in this city and got some of the hardest bars ever. So
can go toe to toe with anybody.
We sit back and we have conversations that we laugh about shit, but I'm like, dog, the folks that we know, people can't even really fully understand why we haven't reached that level of success that, you know, a lot of folks feel that we have. But I'm okay with it, honestly, because I'm 42 years old. You know what I'm saying? And people, I don't look 42. I don't feel 42.
No, you.
I can still wrap circles.
You definitely
around
don't, sis. You got that black girl magic going on.
Thank you. So, you know, I can still wrap circles around motherfuckers when I so choose. You know what I'm saying? I stepped away from, before I put out the Virus EP, I had stepped away from music for almost 5 years. Well, it was like 4.5, close to 4.5 years. Yeah. So if you round it off, that's like 5 years. Yeah. You know, and hip hop, that's shit. That's a lifetime. Yeah. Because so many things happen, so many different styles, especially now, the way that things, it's like a microwave effect in this world. Everybody wants this quick turnaround. You know,
but even though you were already so solidified that you still getting phone calls like yo, come over here and I need you to, or if it ain't a yo, come pull up and I need your performance wise, I'm pretty sure you getting phone calls like, how can we, like, somebody want to, you know, get information and learn something from you. You follow what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I really do. I'm happy that I didn't come up in the microwave era. You know, had I come up in this microwave era where social media is just like, you know, can catapult a person's career into oblivion, then who knows where I might be. You know what I mean? I like I said, I had a conversation with Fats, and we was like, man, just think about, had we had the social media era the way it is now, when 8 Mile popped, where will we be? If 8 Mile popped off, because we was talking, it was like 2018, 2019, we had this conversation. So we was like, man, if 8 Mile dropped right now today, dog, with you know, you got Twitter, you got Instagram, all of these platforms, man, we'd be through the roof. Yeah. But it's crazy because I still see people, because the reason why we even brought that up was because somebody had circulated a meme, you know, with my face on. And I was just like, wow. And I think it was like Rapping Forte or somebody.
Okay, yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. Like, it was like people still talking about that, but you know, is that movie is just like, it's crazy. So we thinking about if it would have came out in this era of, you know, microwave
with Netflix going, and you know, you got Amazon Prime, and like you just said, all these streaming platforms. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, so, but I honestly appreciate the grind that it took. I appreciate, you know, that I have been in this business for such a long time, and you know what I'm saying? Like, even without all of the opportunities that I felt I should have been given, or still feel I should be given, I'm not jaded in any way. You know, I still got love for the game. I still, you know, try to push this art form to the next level as much as I can, you know. So, you know, it is what it is. But I remember I remember thinking like, yo, if I had signed a deal,
what would that look like?
Where would I be? Because it's a lot of folks that I know that have signed major deals and they aren't relevant at all anymore. And I'm like, damn, how a motherfucker like me, I done put out all my albums by myself and still more relevant right now than some of these artists.
And you hear a lot of these stories where, and I hate to get in conspiracies, but you hear these stories, right? that you got to conform and you got to do this and you got to do that in the third. But at some level, it got to be true, because the ones that we know out cold and the ones that we know should be popping is like, and the ones that we know that should be popping and didn't conform. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I didn't conform. I didn't conform when I would see those letters, and like, I remember my locks was like this little.
Okay.
And so when I'm sending my package to these record labels with my demo, and they like, and you get the letter back. I'm excited because one, I got a correspondence letter back from like Violator, and
really,
I got one from, and I wish I still had these letters.
Rest in peace, Chris Lighty, all that. Yeah.
Man, I got a correspondence letter back from Violator. I had got one back from Elektra and Tommy Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so pretty much all of them said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I like changing my image, you know what I'm saying? Like sexing it up, and the popular female artist at the time, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like,
and no slight to them, but it's the ones that y'all want to quote unquote sex it up and get that appeal in the Lord. They not even writing their own raps. I'm gonna say it. You ain't gotta say it. They not even. So it's like, what? Like, that's why I say, and I give it to her, 3D Nati, right? I don't know if you're familiar with her. You see what I'm saying? So that's all I gotta say.
Man, she a beast.
You see what I'm saying?
She's a beast. But also you had ladies like Sonya Blade, who had a sexy image but was ridiculous with the pen.
Yeah, crazy.
Who didn't take off the way, and had a major deal.
Yeah.
But at that time, I'm like 17, 18. And even my parents, when I was reading those letters back, was like, well, you should think about it, and I'm like, nah, like I can't do that, because they like, well, what if you just do it to get the deal and then you go back? But they didn't understand, they didn't understand what the ins and outs. So now they be like, we proud of you because you didn't
sell out. You see what I'm saying?
Right. You didn't compromise yourself.
Absolutely.
And you still do it, and you're successful at doing it. And it's just like, when you believe in yourself,
and when you're comfortable with it here, you know what I'm saying? And
because here's the thing, I'm like, shit, motherfuckers think I'm sexy the way I dress, like, honestly,
what I mean by comfortable in here is because, like, I done heard some stories, right? Like, what I mean by comfortable is here is like, you ain't got to worry about, because I didn't, or because I said yes that time, but because I said no this time, you stripping me, like, you know what I'm saying? Right. Now I'm blackballed, so to speak.
Yeah. So, but I tell motherfuckers like, oh, don't get me wrong, I look fine as hell in the goddamn dress. you know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to that.
Listen, I've been telling them like,
yeah,
I put up some old pictures. As I put up old pictures, and they be like, God damn, like, listen, I have to tell them, but
that ain't what I wanted to be about. Yeah,
exactly. It's not me, and I've always had to. Once I started to recognize who I truly was, because it was a lot of years of fighting to just be comfortable in my own skin as a Black lesbian woman. Like, I knew that being a lesbian was not acceptable, or being gay period is not acceptable in the Black community or the industry. So
and tap into that a little bit, because now to where it's like it, and don't get me wrong, when I say it's more mainstream, meaning because they figure they know how to market it, right? Explain how it was when you was coming up, the difference, and you know what I'm saying? Do you see a difference at all?
Hell yeah, I see a huge difference now.
Because you see these commercials, and now they know how to market it, and they know how to brand that, right? But explain like how tough it was coming up. Like, you follow what I'm saying?
It was extremely tough. I mean, just taking away the artistry part
Okay.
from it. Being gay in the Black community in general is
Yeah.
not fully accepted. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like in white communities and things like that's more, it's more acceptable.
Yeah.
So growing up, it was difficult trying to figure out how to be myself and be friends with the females in my neighborhood
Yeah.
without them thinking that I want, you know what I'm saying, or their mothers or fathers thinking that I'm gonna turn their daughter out.
Right,
You feel
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right, right.
So, or my relatives, I had even relatives that didn't want me around my own cousins, and I hadn't even come out, but I was just what is considered a tomboy.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want me around my own cousins to a
That's
degree.
wild. Yeah, but yeah.
And so fighting with that and trying to figure out what was wrong with me, because it was looked at as it being something wrong with you. Nowadays, it's just like it's more accepted. So that is the only thing that I wish it was different. Like, okay, if I would have been born in this era,
yeah,
as my same self, gay,
yeah,
Black,
yeah,
female, hip hop
yeah.
artist, it would be more accepted, and I would have been more comfortable in my skin at an earlier age, because people wouldn't look down at you and shun you and ridicule you and all that.
And throw Bible verses at you all that
time. Oh my God. And just think, what I'm saying? Like I came up, my stepfather was a deacon at the church. Okay. And so I came up in a church to a degree in my life. And I would be sitting in the church and you hear the pastor preaching a whole sermon about gay people going to hell. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm going to go to hell.
Yeah, the rapture is coming and you better get right in that.
I would go home and I would be trying to pray it out of myself. Like,
yeah.
That was internal turmoil that I was dealing with. And then I'm fighting the whole demon of, niggas trying to block me and keep me out of the business. Then once people found out that I was gay, and they was like, oh, I ain't never gonna be able to get none from her. Like, what? How could she even benefit me? Yeah. Like, oh, we ain't signing her to this label. Like, shit, whatever. Yeah. It's a lot.
It was a battle.
It's been a hell of a journey, but I would not change it for the world, because it actually helped shape me into the woman that I am today.
And I shout out and salute you for just being that strong woman, because like you're a role model now. You follow what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, not in the age where it's still some people that's whatever they battling, right? They don't know how do I go on, or can I still do this, or can I still be this person? Mm-hmm. And now they got a person to look up to that did all of this, accolades, awards, and this illustrious career, and is loved by everybody, no matter what community is. They can look at that. So shout out to you for just being that stamp and that statue.
Man, God is good, because brought me a long way. Like I said, when I was younger, it was such an eternal fight. It was just like at one point I thought that everything would be better if I wasn't here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was just like, but then I had to be like, I can't be killing myself, because that'll for sure send me to hell then. Like, like I would much rather just, and it's crazy when you think about it, but I felt in my heart like I would rather suffer here than suffer in hell.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that was at a young age, thinking that like, I'm not gonna kill myself. I just rather suffer and just be here with my family.
Well, we appreciate you for changing your mind, and me and a lot of viewers that rock with you for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We appreciate you, for just sticking through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's something too. Like, it took me years to even verbalize that and tell people that was the state of mind that I was in at that point. I have a song called "Who I Am" that features my homegirl Idea. My boy produced the track, and he sent it to me. And I was like, yo, it's named Alcatraz. And I was like, yo, this is crazy because it was kind of, this was the time when my mom had like a heart procedure. And so, you know, I'm at the crib. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about growing up. I'm thinking about all of these things, you
All
know.
the stuff just hitting you, right?
It would just hit me. And when he sent the song and I wrote to it, and I was just like, wow. And that was something like when I made mention of thinking about committing suicide, you know, my mother had never even known that. And when she first heard the song, I was performing it at an event in downtown Detroit. It's like an outside event, and she just bust into tears.
Wow.
You know,
wow.
Like, and came up on the stage and just like gave me the biggest hug in front of hundreds of people.
Wow.
But she never even knew that. And you know, it was every time I perform that song, it's either one or two people that will come up to me and just be like, I really appreciate, you know, your perspective. I remember I did the song, it was overseas, and this lady came up to me and she said, she thanked me because her daughter had just come out and she was upset. And she was just like, I didn't even know how to love my daughter through it. She said, but now that I'm hearing this song, I just want to go home and hug her.
Because a lot of times people selfish in a way that they think your lifestyle affect them. Like this has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are selfish in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, and every time I perform that song, my mom, she get teary-eyed, she get very emotional because I know it has to hurt because it even though me speaking it verbally and like that is a healing process to me, it's still, even talking about it now, I still feel that in my body, you know.
Yeah.
I still feel that was a pain that I had held so deeply. Like, you know, as a young kid, just being myself, I just remember one of my friends' grandma's like, don't let that bulldyker over here. And I'm in elementary school.
Wow.
I had no idea what gay or lesbian or bulldyker, none of that shit meant. You know, I'm just trying to play with my homegirls, you know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
And so, you know, that was a fear of mine. Like, will I be accepted in this business? You know, will people embrace me? Will they shun me? And then I even had, you know, folks that I was working with, like, you know, if it was acceptable, then Queen Latifah would be out, and the Brat, and all these other people. And they just rolling off all of these names of women that they felt at the time were lesbian. And you know, most of them have come out in recent years, but it takes some time. When you're a part of the older generation, because we went through so much. You know, just you know, some folks go through abandonment. They families disown them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't even have friends.
They get kicked by the wayside and left forgotten.
Their parents be like, "Nah, I ain't disowning them," and my mama be like, "Well, I'll be your mama." You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, I just think about what if everybody just mind their own business and just you know. But it is right now at this point. I think it's cool to see that they are showing that it's acceptable, but I do also think that it's just too much, you know, because it's almost like really every TV show gotta have, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like now they trying to go overboard, but like, well, we made a mistake by treating you guys this way, so this is how we make it up. And that's the same thing that they did with the Black Lives Matter movement. It's like, oh shit, black people. They're really
it's
upset.
like now they trying to give reparations, so to speak.
Yeah. It's like, you know, don't use us as a marketing.
Be natural, just you know.
Just let it be. You know, I just, and you know, I feel like because I feel like that falls into the whole thing where people feel like it's a gay agenda. You know, I said, so what's, you know, I had a conversation with, if it's a gay agenda, then why y'all don't talk about the drug agenda? Why don't y'all talk about the thug agenda? Why don't y'all talk about all these other agendas? Why y'all focus just on the gay agenda. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, you can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. I grew up in the crack era. I sold crack. Every adult around me in my life was on drugs at one particular moment. I ain't never thought about picking up a motherfucking crack pipe and smoking just because it's around me and I see it every day.
Yeah, it's not always about product of my environment
already. Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? I'm like, I can't put you in a room full of my gay homeboys, and then you just all of a sudden be like, you know what?
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can't put your wife in the room full of lesbians, and she just like, shit, I might just listen. No, it's got to be something that she already want to do, or that you already want to do, something that you've been thinking about. And I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not like, you know what? I ain't never tried no crab legs. Let me try some crab legs.
Yeah.
I ain't never had
a peer pressure thing. Exactly. It's not like,
I ain't never had no crab legs. I'm allergic to crab legs. I will never eat no motherfucking crab legs because I know that I can't do it. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So I'm like, well, you know from a young age that you as a man like women. So why are you thinking that as a grown man, somebody trying to turn you gay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Stop. It's crazy. You know?
Yeah, well, you here and like I say, we giving you your flowers, man. Let's get into that music. I know you just dropped that 6-track EP, The Virus.
Yes.
Let's tap on that a little bit. How did you come up with that title? Was it like automatic? Was it just like Dean marketing or?
No, it was automatic. So, you know, right before the pandemic really fully hit and was like taking over and like killing folks. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like two or 3 months before I had even hit the States where I saw something on the news and it was just like, you know, it's a virus is sweeping over in Japan. It's called the coronavirus. And they didn't talk about the severity of it. They didn't really say like, you know, they didn't even mention that people was like on lockdown or anything. They just said that it was a virus called the coronavirus. It was like a worse strain of the flu. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, damn, it's a coronavirus. And I was just like, because honestly, I wasn't even thinking about doing music. I was just like, yo,
what sparked the flame? Like, you know what I mean?
The coronavirus.
It was exactly
the name. It was just
you was like, duh.
I didn't even know what it was exactly. You know what I mean? I didn't know that people,
because they didn't start calling it COVID until later, right?
Yeah. Right. I didn't know that people was dying from it. I didn't know none of that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, I reached out to my homeboy who's one of my producers, his name Chains. I'm like, hey, y'all been trying to get me to do music. It's this virus called the coronavirus. I don't know. Like maybe I need to do something with that. And so he's like, okay. But I was like, send me something. And then he didn't send me anything. And then like once they started talking about it on social media and things, people started creating these memes.
Okay.
Corona, the only virus you can't die from, with my face in it. And like everybody was like, yo, man, this is the time for you to come out of retirement. But I was already thinking about like creating something like maybe just a song with the name coronavirus. Mm-hmm. But by the time it really like got its legs and was just like hyping people out, I had already finished the project. It only took me like 7 days.
Really?
It was like 7 days writing.
Is it normally that easy when you're working on a project like the?
I write pretty fast typically when I'm in the zone. Mm-hmm. But like being a Virgo person, Virgo artsy person, I can be very critical and like, you know, a perfectionist to a fault. So that's actually the fastest that I've ever written and recorded a project and was just like, this is it. I knew in my heart it was going to be 6 songs. I got beats from, I think the first song that I wrote was No Mask by, and that was produced by Mark Cooper. And the reason why I even wrote that was because I was at work at the
Okay.
time. I was an optician at this eyeglass place, and this news was talking about the virus coming to the possibly coming into the United States, the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And so my coworker said my name. She just called me Corona, and the lady turned around like, Corona, and she was like, "Oh no, that's her name." And she looked like she was like, "Oh, you ain't even got no mask on." I
Yeah.
am. I was like,
Calm down, ma'am.
right. And I'm like, damn, she in a frenzy, she in a panic, like, you know what I'm saying? Just because my name Corona. She was like, is your name really Corona? And I showed her the tattoo. I said, that's really my name. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the virus itself. And so
Slow it down, right?
I went to break, and I usually sit in my car when it's kind of warm out. It was kind of warm around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, because it was like March, and
yeah, because it didn't really. I don't think people got serious about it until, like you say, March, close to spring, where we started to shut down. But
no, actually, it wasn't even in March because it was February because I had got sick as hell at work, and then nope, I'm right. It was March. I got sick as hell at the end of February, and then I had to take off work. And when I went back to work, they ended up. I got sick again, and then they shut down. And like while I was off, that's when everything started just like. But I had wrote and recorded the project, and when I got sick in February, I went to the hospital. I'm like, dog, that was like the sickest I had ever been in my life. I'm thinking and then once I started hearing the symptoms, and I'm like, well, I got this album done, this project done. But honestly, when I started writing it, I just felt like God was just talking to me.
Okay.
Like
Wow.
this is it. Like, this is, you got to do this. And I was just like, in my head, I'm like, okay. But whatever possessed me, and it's different type of ways of being possessed. You can be
Absolutely
possessed by the Holy Spirit, you can be possessed by demons, whatever it was that overcame
you used it
because I hadn't been writing for a long time. It was like I wrote a verse or two here or there for some cameo appearances, like the Apollo Brown project, and maybe like one or two other projects that I had worked on within a 4-year time span.
You were doing features, but just to sit down and say, okay, let me put something out. Let me give the masses something from Miz Korona.
I was just writing them joints. I was writing them joints so fast, bro. It was scary.
Okay.
I was like, Mark Cooper sent me a batch of beats. The first track I heard, like I said, it was the No Mask joint. It was like, I got to the crib. Well, I was listening to the beat. I was listening to the beats in the car. And then once I got to the crib, the story was playing in my head that the lady said. I was like, everybody in the frenzy because I'm here with the mask off. No future, because that beat just gave me that vibe of like a trappy type of beat. And I was like, ooh, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then it just was off to the races from there on. And like Chain sent me a bunch of beats, and my boy DJ Static sent me a joint. And I was like, okay, that's it. And then, folks was like, I got something for you. I see you working. I was like, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, you literally put up like,
because now it's pouring in, because now they see, oh, she really cooking up. She really in the kitchen. Now it's pouring in.
Yeah. And so I was like, yo, we recorded the project in 4 days. You know what I'm saying? I took, like I said, it was like a full 7-day time span because I would take a break. Like, okay, I don't want to force it. Let me go back to this, and then I'll jump into another song and start writing to that one, and then next 2 days I go back.
Well, talk about the first song was The Virus. Talk about that. You got LaShawn on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sean Phoenix, my sister Nico Red, and Maestro Williams, and
was y'all in the same? How was that recording? Was y'all in the same? Did y'all get a chance to vibe together? Or
that was actually that was even though that's the first song on the project and the title of the project, that was actually the last song that was completed.
Okay, wow.
So what happened was, it was like St. Patrick's Day. I went and I knocked out the first 3 records because I had already had the verses written, and that included the song with Gordy. So Gordy went back and, recorded his verse. And so, when I went back in to finish it, it was just that Nico and LaShawn and Maestro had to put the finishing touches on it. And LaShawn actually wrote the chorus. So she was the one that I was corresponding with whenever I was writing, because that's like my big sister too,
Okay.
And so whenever I was writing anything, I was sending her the voice memos. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I was like, as soon as I wrote that, I said, I need you on this hook. She's like, what? I'm like, I need you on this hook.
Yeah.
She's like, well, what's the hook? I said, nah, you got to write it. She's like, wow. She said,
yeah. I need you on the hook. Not do it.
It was like, she sent me the hook, and I was like, that shit is amazing. And when they went in and recorded it, it was just like, wow, because the track itself has this eerie, vibe and feeling.
Yeah.
And mind you, Al, this is before we went into Shelter into Place.
Mm-hmm.
This is before people had been announced as dying from this shit.
Yeah.
This is before all of that. So it was almost like everything. It was like I saw the future. In this project, but I used it in a way where it was metaphorically almost like, my career. Like, okay, I'm on y'all head. Ain't nobody coming for you this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I didn't know the severity of all of this other shit. So when people heard it, some people took it like I was trying to, make fun of the seriousness of the virus. And I'm just like, bro, like I fucking had this shit done before they even started talking about people in the U.S. being affected by this shit.
Almost prophetic in a way.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, before I dropped it, just knowing all of that stuff, because I hadn't even let people hear it. Only the ones who were involved in the project were the ones that heard the project.
Mm-hmm.
People knew that I was coming out of retirement with something that I was working on. And calling, I'm like, I don't know if I should change my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, should I drop this project? Like, what should I do?
Yeah.
And folks was just like, nah, man. Like,
capitalize off of that, boy.
You gotta do it. And so I got some negative feedback, of course, but that was to be expected. And, like I said, I prayed on it, and I prayed on it for like 2-3 days before the guy was just like, nah, this is it. And some people was hitting me up like, man, I wish I had some kind of pandemic or something to be like, this is the time, like.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey.
It like you said, it was divine. It was divine. It's the year of Corona. You follow what I'm saying? And not even in so many ways. Yeah, it's the year of Corona where it's how you can look at it, right? It could be the year of Corona and now we distance from each other, or we this, that, and the third, or it could be looked at as positive. It's the year of Corona, the return. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here's the thing, and what I had to let people know, like, those naysayers and those people who were coming at me in a negative way was like, hey,
they gonna talk. They gonna talk. Twitter,
I say, hey man, I'm a messenger. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, it's people who have created and talked about. That's what artistry is about. You talk about what's happening, current times. You feel what I'm saying?
Don't you like? You know what I'm saying?
That I have the same namesake as this fucking dreadful ass virus.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my fault. I was Miz Korona for 20 years before this shit even happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I named myself Korona in the midst of it and then decided to put a project out. No, I was already Miz Korona.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
absolutely.
Saying? And LaShawn said something to me that was so crazy because I hadn't even thought about it. But when she listened back to the whole entire project while we were at the studio, she was just like, the vibe that she had was almost like I was talking to myself and removing the virus of self-doubt and the virus of, because I almost, like I said, I stepped away from music. I was like, yo, dog, this shit ain't working, whatever. I'm gonna just focus on on photography and everything. And she was like, that's a virus.
Yeah.
That's a virus. The self-doubt is a virus. The walking away from your dream, that's a virus. She was like, and you done self-medicated with the music and you healed yourself from this. She was like, man, this is an amazing project.
Yeah.
And I was still I knew it was amazing, but I was still like,
am I gonna press the green button?
Exactly.
Yes.
I was like, am I gonna hit go or not? And once I hit go, it was off to the races. But man, like even the hold on, let me pull it. Let me show y'all, because even with the makeup of the damn vinyl, right? We got
vinyl. Yes, I was gonna get into that. Yes.
So I pressed up some vinyl. This project is only available in physical form on vinyl. I didn't do no CDs.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything like that. So when I pressed up the vinyl, I sent them the format of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Pressed it up at, it's supposed to be a 12-inch is supposed to be pressed at 35 speed. Is it 35 or 30? What is it? 33. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be pressed at 33.
Okay.
And they pressed it at 45 speed. So it's dragging when you play it at the regular speed. It's like chopped and screwed. Okay. You drop that needle on there, it's really sound quick. Like, no. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And so when you play it at 45 speed, it plays regular. Okay. And I was just like, yo, they fucked up my record. I don't know what to do.
I got going crazy.
My man's hit me up like, yo, I got the record. And it's messed up. It's playing slow. It's chopped and screwed. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I listened to it and it was fine. But when we listened to it, I listened to it at my producer Chain's crib. And when he dropped the needle, it was playing slow. Mm-hmm. But he didn't realize that it was on the wrong speed. He just flipped the switch naturally. It was like, oh, because he got the little 45 records.
Okay.
So he like, I just flipped the switch, so I didn't know that it was. Man, I listened to every single record, like, oh, this shit fucked up. Then next thing you know, boom, God just was like, nope, we can make this the best marketing mistake ever. Okay. I was on the phone with my brother DJ Los. I'm like, dog, I think I know how to fix it. He was like, what? I said, I'm just gonna drop a little card in there. A little card. So the record comes with this, a sign, and it says 45. I have a song called 45 about the dude, the orange dude.
Track 6, yeah.
And so it says, warning: this record has a virus and must be played at 45 speed. So if I didn't have a song called 45, it wouldn't have worked. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, everything that happened with this record was supposed to happen with this record.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
From the start of even the thought, all the way in, all the way to the last track, 45, to you coming up with the brilliant idea that put the card in there. Mm-hmm. This album has a virus, and you know what I'm saying? That all corresponded with each other. How dope is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not by mistake.
That's not by mistake. That's divine. God did all of that. And so even when so the first run of records, I pressed up 100 records. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who know about vinyl is expensive. Okay. So I pressed up 100 records, and oddly enough, the pressing plant had just opened back up. So they were able to get my order back really quickly. Okay. And so it sold out in 7 days.
Wow. Right? Wow. Salute to that, man.
It sold out in 7 days. I was like, yo, I don't know what to do. So I pressed up a second run. Okay. And they asked me if I wanted them to correct the mistake and put it at the right speed. And I said, no. We just gonna keep it like this. Yeah. Of these cards, and we just gonna, it's a collector's item.
I was just gonna say, and so now it's a collector's item, and You can't dub it because if you ain't you follow what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So now it's a collector's item and it has a level of authenticity to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I mean, everything happened for a reason. From the album cover, the day that I was able to go out and shoot with my photographer Lamar Linders, like the whole city was like the governor had just announced the shelter in place that day and was like at midnight, no vehicles unless you're going to or from work should be on the road, blah, blah, blah. We go downtown, it's fucking 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And anybody who knows Detroit knows that downtown in the middle of the week is busy. It's traffic.
Absolutely.
We go downtown.
So to see the street clears looking like I Am Legend.
It was exactly like that. We literally saw 2 cars in that time frame of an hour and a half of shooting down there.
Yeah.
We saw 2 cars and 3 people. I was like, bro, this is creepy.
Yeah.
And then I'm down there with all black on, looking like the goddamn Grim Reaper.
Even when the city went into blackout, it was still people on the streets.
There was still people on the street. It was still people on the street when it was a blackout. We was down there talking like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But it ended up being one of the hardest photo shoots and covers. So anybody
and another thing I want to touch on, and another thing that I want to touch on is so dope about the time frame that you came out with this project, right? Is because look at it, and
it's nothing behind me, nothing. Look at it's no vehicle.
You see them? Yeah,
that's crazy.
And that again, that all coincides with the title. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Nobody's around. It's not like you forcing it. Again, it's not like you forcing it, right?
Right.
And so I was just gonna say another thing that's positive about that is because you came out with a project at a time where we ain't doing nothing. So we like all we doing is sitting at home, turning on music, playing a record, this and that and the third. So it's allowing people to tap in and focus on a project and listen to a project. You see what I'm saying? So,
but let me tell you something too. And this is crazy because that is true. I dove into a lot of artists' music that I was fans of or didn't even know about. But a lot of people didn't even listen to the project until recently.
Okay, wow.
Just because of the name, just because they felt some type of way, and so I recently reposted one of the songs on there called "Respect the Name" that my boy DJ Static produced.
Yeah,
like, yo, that song hard as hell. Like
track 5.
What's that on? Exactly.
Yeah,
and so they like, what's that on? And my boy chimes in, is like, oh, that's on the fucking Virus EP. And it's like, man, I slept on that, but I ain't even gonna lie. I was nervous to listen to it. I'm like, everybody, like, what y'all thought I was gonna put a fucking hex on y'all? It's a
play it backwards.
Man, but yeah, people didn't even, a lot of folks didn't tap into it until like the end of the year and just top of this year.
Talk about Give Up. You got King Gordy. Shout out to King Gordy, Van Dyke. Shout out to all my Van Dyke guys. That's my second. I'm from 7 Mile, but that's like my second stomping ground. And Marv, want to talk about that? How did that song come about, and how did you pick those guys? Like, was that already like, yo, when you hear?
I knew that I wanted Gordy to be on there. That's another track that Mark Cooper produced. And I knew as soon as I heard it, I was like, and I wrote the verse, I was like, damn, I need Gordy. I need Gordy's voice on here.
Okay. Okay.
I hadn't worked with Gordy in years. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think we had even talked in years. But he's also a person who we communicate on social media, you know what I'm saying? But we just haven't seen each other face to face in years. And so when everybody was saying like, yo, this is the time for you to drop a project, he was one of the ones who commented, and it was crazy. I was like, yo, that's insane that you said something, because I got a joint that I need you on. He was like, send it to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't even send it to him at the time. And and because I had just got the beat, you know, and so it was like 2-3 days later when they sent it to him from the studio. But what happened was that same night when I first went and did the first recording session, it was I left the club from my cousin's birthday party.
Okay.
I'm dressed up, you know, I hadn't even been there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. Pulled in the parking lot, paid $20 to park, paid $20 to park, $20 to get in the club, wasn't even there for 25 minutes, and was fucking, and they called me like, where you at? I was like, dog, you supposed to call me and told me whether or not y'all was gonna get me in there. I was like, well, we here, we waiting on you. I was like, who is we? He like, this is Dale from Silent Riot. He like, me and Marv. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, well, I'm on my way. I'm tell my cousin bye, I'm at her party. I'm on my way. They're like, you want to do another day? I said, nope, I'm on my way. Left the club, went in that motherfucker. They clowning me because they talk about my outfit I had on and say I was looking like Carmen Sandiego and shit. But they just can't understand. They can't comprehend how fly I be, you know. So I'm in the fucking booth, you know what I'm saying? You hear me?
To the flow, you feel me?
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in that bitch, and so I did when I think I recorded Nomax first, then I recorded my verse to the Virus, and then we did the verse for Give Up. And I was like, they like, what the second verse have? I said, oh, Gordy on this one.
Yeah.
And it was like, Gordy. I said, yeah, I got to send him the track. They were like, Gordy gonna be in here tomorrow, actually. And I was like,
wow.
Well, tell him this is the song I need his verse on. Marv was there. Marv was like, yeah, asked me to be on the joint. I was like, dog, I say, write a hook to this shit. Because the hook that I had, I just freestyled the part, give up, nigga, give up. Yeah, that shit, I just freestyled that part, and then he came in with the other part. Yeah. And so that's how Marv even ended up on the project. That wasn't on purpose. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think I want you on it. It was just really supposed to be me and Gordy.
Okay.
But Marv was there.
And he was in the right place at the right time.
Right. He was there, and they wasn't fully sold on the freestyle hook, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he put his part on there because it actually gave it a different element that was needed. And so that's how that song came about.
Dope, man. And like I say, the whole project is fire. You know what I'm saying?
You. I appreciate that. I really do. You know, trying to figure out
because when I first seen you promoting it on the book, that's how I first seen you promoting it. And I'm like, oh, we back? Is this what we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was already excited. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, that's what we doing, huh? You made me go put my pen out. Like, okay.
Hey, that's what's up. Listen,
I got the stretching and
look, because the thing is that, you know, none of us was fully aware of what was to come. Now, I will say that my cousin who's in the Navy had sent us a link, you know, and like our Facebook messenger was like, this is what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better stock up on y'all food and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling them,
you guys didn't know the totality. Like,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people, which to this day still think it's like still think it's like the media and like something they just pushing. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't think it's real.
Right. Some people, hey, and to each his own, but I know I had that goddamn shit twice. I know my mama had it twice. I know, you know, I had some relatives that was in the hospital. I actually had 2 relatives that was on the ventilator. And thank God that they alive and, you know, well.
Yeah, thank God that all y'all, you know, overcame that. Yeah.
Man, even one of my cousins, she's so traumatized by it, she don't even call me Korona no more. You know what I'm saying? She just hit me with the government name, but she never used to call me my government name for real. You know, but it's definitely real, you know. I mean, but you can't convince somebody what a lot of people think that's, you know, I don't know. Everything is a conspiracy theory. I got a friend who lost her grandmother, her mother, and her aunt all in a few week time span, you know.
Mhm.
So to hear people say or to see people comment and post it like, man, this virus ain't real, it's offensive.
Okay. It just ain't hit close to home yet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A lot of people don't get it until they like burn their hand on the stove, so to speak. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know, it just makes me think about how many folks felt that whooping cough and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know all of that
yeah.
other shit
Even
back
when
in
the flu
the day.
first came out, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Back in the day, like when they didn't know, like, you know what I'm saying? It was
right.
real. And we've had examples of all of these like different type of viruses, and don't play with it, like, because why would you, like, even if, like, why wouldn't you just want to be, just in case, like, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't you just want to be on point? Like, you know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
but to think about this, bro. Think about all of the people who we know AIDS is real, but motherfuckers are
You
still
feel
out
me?
here having unprotected sex with strangers.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Some of us
hey,
just like to play, just like to play.
some people just don't think that it's ever going to affect them.
Hmm.
You know
That's
what I'm
that's
saying?
that's a
And
beautiful way to
so,
put it. Yeah,
you know, it's like,
yeah,
damn.
yeah,
You know, I can't even front like I be out here just being full, but I don't be fucking on every single person either. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But hey, it's just like people. I'm gonna wear my mask. I'm gonna
yeah.
go out here, but I don't know about getting no vaccine. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know about
I don't
that.
think I'm
I
gonna
never
go
had a
that
flu
far.
vaccine. I never had a flu vaccine because it was an ingredient that I'm allergic to. You know, with
Okay.
me having so many food allergies, most people who have allergies to seafood and peanuts and eggs and things like that, they probably never have taken the flu vaccine
Okay.
because it has something in there that's directly going in our body that can kill us. So,
Yeah.
you know, as a kid, I had to, for the first couple of years of school, my mama had to take a paper in there, like, you know, because they didn't want me even in school because I wasn't vaccinated.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
you know, but you know, it's
Yeah.
a history. It's a terrible history of vaccinations and you know in the black community where they use us as guinea pigs. So I'm like,
You
I'll wait for a couple years to see what this is about. You ain't finna Tuskegee Airman me shit.
Yeah, everything go through beta. So just, hold on. Like, everything go through beta. Everything is, mm-mm.
I ain't jumping to do it, you know, and I don't like when people try to criticize other folks for their decisions on whether they want to or not. Like if you want to take it because you
What,
feel
you ain't gonna, yeah.
then that's fine. If you don't want to take it because you feel like that's what you want to do, you got to do what's best for yourself. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm not here
Absolutely.
to judge nobody on whether or not they want to make that decision. You know, I don't have to live in a house. I ain't in a body. You ain't in my
Yeah.
body. So
Yeah.
don't be, you know.
Absolutely. No, that's real. That's real. Well, shit,
So
the peaks, real quick. The peaks. Talk about
oh,
that. You know what I'm
Triple
saying?
Peaks. So Triple Peaks is a clothing line that I'm in partnership with my nephew and niece with. My nephew actually started the brand about 10, almost 11 years ago.
Okay.
And so, um,
I'm like Corona and fashion now. Let me hold on. Let me
listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I've always been attached to fashion in
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
way or another. You know, my mom was a model. She was into retail and you know did a lot of stuff in fashion
Mhm.
ever since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? My aunt is a hairstyle. Well, I got a couple of aunts that are hairstylists, and so they did a lot of fashion shows and runway shows and things like that. So that's just something that's been in the family for years, the
Okay.
sense of fashion. But my nephew actually created the line and wanted to walk away from it. And so when I came back from off tour with Finale, I think it was that 2016, 2015, something like that.
Mhm.
Um, before we went on tour, I was reaching out to a lot of associates of mine that I like to patronize, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to be on tour overseas for 2.5 months. I need some clothes, you know, like I'm gonna buy some stuff, but can I get some love too? Like
Yeah.
those stuff. And a couple people, mostly everybody was like, nah, you know, like they'll give me a discount or whatever, but they couldn't throw me nothing for free. And I'm like, damn, I'm out here about to be a walking billboard marketing and shit. And you know, you could throw me. It could have been a T-shirt, it could have been a hat, it could have whatever the fuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I would have
Yeah.
been grateful because if I'm breaking bread with you and also trying to get you to promo overseas while I'm on these huge stages with people, I thought that was a no-brainer, but it's not
people
to take
miss
away
out on
anything.
people miss out on their opportunity being tight.
Yeah, but and it's still love from me. I still support those folks. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never been no love lost. It just made me realize that my nephew had something that I saw could be really, had potential to be really big. So I can help with that. I could focus on that and like invest and put my marketing strategy, any information I have as far as marketing. And I didn't go to school for it, but a lot of people will say that they feel like I'm a natural marketing genius, so to speak, just because of a lot of ideas that I have given to folks for free.
Yeah.
And so, we when I came back from off tour, I sat down with him. I'm like, I don't want you to, give up on the brand. I see that it can be big. I believe in it. I believe in you. So guess what we gonna do? I'm gonna sit with some people who actually went to school for marketing, and we're gonna come up with a plan, and we're gonna make it happen. And so, fast forward 4 years later, my nephew ended up getting in some trouble and going to prison. He's still in prison right now, but I felt like,
shout out to him.
Yeah, I felt like, in the middle of the pandemic when I was making a resurgence as an artist, I felt like it was no time like the present to really put that time that I had sitting still in the house and the resources that I had put away to launch the clothing line. So, my niece and I, we came up with a strategy and a plan, and, we rebranded the logos, and shout out to our cousin Mophead Bop for creating the logos, and we gave him our idea of how we wanted it to look, and so we sat for a couple of weeks. We picked the materials that that we wanted to use, like we don't wear cheap shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The clothes was really great quality, and so and then we just took off from there, and I was just like, yo, okay. It really kind of picked up really fast, you know what I'm saying? Faster than I expected, and people started gravitating to it and didn't even know that I was directly attached to it. Do
you think it's gonna get to where, or do you think, or if it gets to a point where you just like, okay, this might be my lane now, like, you know what I mean? Or is it?
I think I'm gonna still do a lot of the things that I really don't. I really, honestly, in my heart, don't feel like I will totally give up music. But that's my main. Focus. My main focus is photography and visual stuff. But the fashion is something that I am, going to be putting a lot more attention and focus behind.
Like say for instance, like a Riri, like a Rihanna. Ever since she dropped the Savage, album, like, she still, you see what I'm saying? So
the thing is that with Rihanna, she built a $1 billion company, and I pray that we can get to that point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I definitely hope and pray because I can see it being big like that with the right push and attention behind it. We'll see what happens, but right now we still in infant stages. It's still, I feel like we still in the incubator stage, so to speak. It's just, this is kind of like this is almost like I don't want to say a think camp, but it's like, trying to test out different placements of what a design is, different materials to see what people gravitate to, what they like, what they don't like. So, we just trying to work out
what's most hot, you know what I'm saying? What's selling the most and all of that. Yeah.
And then also we want to keep up with the flow of what people like, but also having a separation in our own identity. So you'll see
originality, like
So the only piece that you see that looks familiar to anything is the one that we have that says the peaks across with the red border or the different color border, because that is our way of paying homage to one of our all of our favorite brands, which is Supreme.
Right,
And
right.
and so, you know, a lot of people make a play off Supreme because it's hot, you know what I'm saying? But our signature pieces are original designs, and
Okay.
it doesn't take a play off of anything.
I had a chance to look over a lot of that stuff, and you know, I gotta go ahead and you know, make me a list and go ahead and shop up myself, because I was you know, going through a lot of those pieces, and I seen a lot of fly pieces. You know, I like to get fly too. You know what I'm saying? I like to drip down on them. So
well, listen, man. You know, send me your address too. I drop you. I would love to. You know, throw you a sweater or two. You know what I'm saying? Just on the low, just so you know.
Man, that's a blessing. You gonna make me cry, bro. Like for real, man.
No, that would be dope to see you rocking some of the stuff. But yeah, we got some new stuff dropping. We actually have a pop-up coming. Our first official pop-up shop is coming on February.
Yeah, I seen that.
7th.
Okay, yeah.
And so we got some new stuff coming. Some jogging sets, and like sweater dresses for the hoodie sweater dresses for the women.
You gonna bless him with a performance or two, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, not at this one. So the plan is that we're probably gonna do pop-up shops bi-monthly, perhaps.
Okay.
And one that we want to do closer to the spring, or maybe even before, like around Easter time.
Yeah.
It's a venue that we were looking at that has a stage.
Okay.
So that will be one where I will do a performance, but it's going to be like an acoustic performance set of the Virus out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm, you know, marketing, trying to, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing, because my mom and my sister, they have a boutique, an online boutique that they're working on, and they did a pop-up shop in November, and people were coming to the pop-up, and Triple Peaks had our booth, and people were asking for Corona Effect merch or the vinyl or you know, things like that. And I said, you know, I didn't want to cross promote. I don't want one thing to take away.
Let's make this about this.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. So when I do put that that event together, that will be one of the only ones that, you know, you'll see Corona Effect, you know, merging with the Triple Peaks.
With Triple Peaks.
I'll actually be performing, but I'm like, if I'm not performing as Miz Korona, or Miz Korona is involved in these events, then it's not gonna cross over to any Triple Peak stuff. I just, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, shit with you know, like I said earlier, it's such an illustrious career, and I'm dead serious about that. You know, between, you know, music and performing and touring and just all of that. Like, through it all, what was the most rewarding part about that whole timeline? Like, what's the most rewarding part about it all? You know what I mean?
All of it is rewarding.
Yeah.
All of it is rewarding, because
is it like sometimes it might be the reception that you get. Sometimes it just might be a self-rewarding thing where, like, okay, I finally did this. It's another milestone, or I finally, you know, check that off.
It's all a reward to me, to be totally honest, and not to sound cliche, because I'm appreciative of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know firsthand my struggle. Don't nobody else know. You know what I'm saying? And I know how hard it is just to be an independent artist. It's like, man, I do everything. I book my own shows. I got to write my own music. I got to find my own beats. I got to fucking book my own studio time. I got to, come up with the ideas and the concepts for the album covers. I do everything by myself. The only thing I didn't do for this last project is take the fucking pictures and design the
But
cover.
You still probably came up with the vision of where to, you see what I'm saying? So
I produced it, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but it's all rewarding because, it's just all the little things, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the hiccups of, the project being pressed and pressing it the wrong way, then people being really excited about that little, having that card as a little tangible item of a memento, all of it. I just appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying? I really truly do. And I think people sometimes be like, oh man, you just saying that. But no, I do. I really appreciate every little thing
Absolutely.
because there's so much work that goes into it. You never know. I can't say, well, you know, well, I bought 2 runs of records and I sold out the first run in 7 days and I was appreciative of that. And then I still got like 85 records over here and I don't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
I appreciate that because if I would have sold out all 200 copies, really like, okay, the first one sold out in 7 days, second ones came out or whatever. Then when I drop my next project, in my mind, I'm gonna feel like those should do better or whatever. But I'm looking at this like, well, when
it's
the
like you
world,
start setting up like a
yeah.
like
But I'm looking at this like, okay, I got records over here in the corner of my little office space. When the world opened back up and I started doing shows, people who missed out on that opportunity to get a record, I can actually sit and talk to them and sign it. I'm gonna appreciate that, those interactions with folks. You know, people who like you reaching out to me to be on your podcast. I'm appreciative of this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many things that go into it. I just can't even. I don't know. I appreciate it all. I love being on stage. I love creating the projects. I love, hanging out with folks in the studio, the vibe, or bouncing ideas off people when I'm sending voice memos. Like, listen to this verse. I just be excited, and I just love everything.
It's all gratifying. Yeah.
It was a time where, I felt like because I wasn't getting enough looks or because I wasn't, getting enough play that people wasn't checking for me, but you just never know. And I feel like the way that I move as a person, you know what I'm saying, that has allowed me to be in this space of just being able to love and appreciate everything, man. Listen, let me tell you, DJ Premier played my fucking EP for 7 weeks in a row. 7 weeks in a row for songs.
And a lot of people don't know. If y'all don't know, we might have a lot of young people listening, but DJ Premier is like that guy.
And let me tell you, from the start of this project, I told my sister LaShawn Fiend, and she said, well, what do you want out of this project? I said, I just want to be played on Shade 45. I feel like if I can get heard on Shade 45, it's going to open up so many doors for me. And it happened. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was so appreciative of that, like every single fucking week.
And it wasn't just played. It wasn't just like, we
listen. I was like, I can stop now. What the fuck? But here's the thing. Also, I didn't think that. So he played. Not only did he play my stuff a couple weeks, he played other Detroit artists stuff a couple weeks. And so shout out to my boy Pat 313 from Middle Finger Music, my Middle Finger Music fan.
Oh, word.
Pat would tag us in the post and I repost it and I'm like, yo, DJ Premier play blah 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 blah. And I'd be like the only one he respond to. Yeah. And the shit would blow my fucking wig. I'm like, oh my God, he just fucking responded to me, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm just like, yo, like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? And he says to me in a post, like, yo, Royce Ben told me about you long before I got hit to your music. And I never would have known. Out of all the years I've known Royce, I never would have known he would even speak my name.
You never know. You see what I'm saying?
Never know. But that's one thing, and another thing is like even
shout out to Royce, man.
Shout out to man, he been dropping some heat, and so another thing, like I said, you never know.
You never know who listening. You never know who paying attention, and you never know who's giving your name up or you know what I'm saying.
I just be appreciative. I be appreciative of those people who, tap into my visual work, and they like, damn, I didn't even know you took photos, or I didn't even know you shot videos.
See what I'm saying?
And even people who don't know me as Miz Korona, who just see my work over there, and like, book me for stuff.
Yeah.
And just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate
they might book you for this, not knowing you do
and
this,
I get there and
or
they
not
like,
knowing they both coincide. Like, you know.
yeah. And I didn't got booked for because it's the trigger finger visuals. So I didn't got booked for stuff as trigger finger visuals, and I show up and they like,
yep.
oh shit,
That's
damn.
hard. That's hard.
Like that's crazy, but yeah, man. So I listen, and then this whole pandemic has showed me to be even more appreciative of things.
Yeah.
You know, like just seeing how many people got wiped out.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? I was like, bro, like I am,
and they still getting wiped out. I was looking at the news yesterday, not even just here, just in other countries. You know what I'm saying? I think China up to like, and I don't want to get the number wrong, but I know they up to the millions of people that's still getting like still out of here. Like, you know what I mean? They still getting them out of here. So it's, you know, it's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy because I mean, we for a while we had the highest death toll.
Yeah, we did.
You know and I'm just like, it's crazy because, you know, it could have the dude knew about it and we could have tried to prevent it to a degree, you know, but
I don't want to get on him.
Conversation about that. I feel a whole way about that. I really feel like that's
we'll spend another hour.
Okay, they definitely unleashed that on the world to try to do population control and it backfired. That's what I feel, but whatever. You know, I got to go downstairs and paint ceilings. So
and don't get me wrong, like he's a messed up individual, but he's still minor to the people that behind him that we don't see. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he definitely a puppet, but you know, whatever. It's, man, this world, let me tell you, the world that we live in.
Which is crazy about us. I'm sorry to cut you off, Miz Korona, but that's crazy about some of us. And when I say us, I'm just speaking for the general, right? Mm-hmm. Because before, I can remember it was a time that a lot of people that's condemning him, you can pull up pictures to Google right now, and they side by side smiling, and you know what I'm saying?
Like, wasn't you there?
You was just there. You was just at the cookout.
They can't pull the wool over my eyes. But what I was about to say is this world is so fucked up. You know that you just look for years. I've been praying for my tribe to arrive. Okay, so I can be around positive, like-minded individuals, good-hearted individuals. You know what I'm saying? Like. That's it. And that's what it is. It's like, you know, it's evil out here. It's evil. It's people who do
and you can feel the evil presence. It's not like
But if you didn't make it on the other end of this whole pandemic and that reset and like come out of it with a different perspective and different mindset, you missed the whole point, you know, of having that time to sit. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like I said, I start a new job. I start a new job next week, Tuesday. Mm-hmm. February, the end of March would have been a whole year that I hadn't worked a regular job. But I worked that whole fucking time on myself first, on my brands, and my other businesses. Mm-hmm. That's it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, thank you for that time. Yeah. Because that time that I took to work on myself,
it allowed you to focus
was the most important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was you can't give yourself to others if you ain't got all of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot of things that came out. It's a lot of things that came out of that. And, you know, everybody who came out of it with that mindset of just like, you know, appreciation and just focus and drive, you know what I'm saying? And good-heartedness, like, man, God bless you. God bless you. Because it's evil out here. Okay. It's evil.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, one more thing I wanted to ask, like, you know, like you just said, you back out here, you know, you finna go get this bread in a couple of days, you know, that, you know what I'm saying? And it was already before this project, The Virus, which is out right now, go grab it. You know, you was hesitant to jump back Do you ever see yourself hanging the mic up, hanging your jersey up, so to speak? Like, and if you do, what will retirement even look like for Miz Korona? Like, you know what I'm
And
saying?
that was my third time retiring.
Okay.
People would not let me walk away from music. So
Yeah.
God won't let me walk away from music.
Because you gotta, and it's not like you're not using your voice just for getting on, or for like, you're not out here like, you know what I'm saying?
But
your words is powerful.
I was gonna say thank you so much, because I was gonna say earlier, when I had made the last decision to retire before I dropped the project, it was a struggle of putting out the EP or the album that I was going to drop. It was supposed to come out in like 2016, 2017, which was called Sealy Posturepedic Most Slept On, but that didn't happen. And so that whole project got scrapped because it never got finished.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a disheartening feeling to be trying to get distribution or some type of backing behind this project. And I'm like, yo, everybody say I'm a legend. And, if I'm such a legend, then why the fuck ain't nobody really rocking with me? And I've been doing this shit all this time by myself. And, and so I was like, yo, fuck it. I'm just going to focus on the visual shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got mad depressed about that shit, because I've been doing music since I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
So that was like really the only thing that I felt that I knew, because that was what I did consistently in the public eye for over half of my life.
Okay.
And when it came to my photography, I didn't really push that in the public eye because I felt like it was going to take away from my focus of being an artist. I felt like once people, found out that I was doing photography or trying to shoot videos, that everybody gonna be calling me and I ain't gonna have time to do my own shit. That didn't fucking happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of my clientele comes from folks who don't even do music.
Wow. Okay.
The niggas who I rock with in the music don't even fuck with me like that as far as photography goes, except for Fat Father, for real.
Yeah, and salute to him, man. Yeah, yeah, okay.
And so, I stepped away from music prior to that for some other reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then, this last time I was just like, well, if I make a comeback, then I want to do it my own way, right? Because people kept booking me for shows, and I was like, yo, because in the middle of that retirement, I did a show at the DIA.
Yeah,
a whole band.
2018, right? Was this about?
It was like 2017,
17, 18, okay.
And it was like, the end of whatever year that was.
Yeah.
And so I think it was like the end of 2017. I don't know. So I fucking put a band together.
Okay.
In the middle of a retirement, because I'm like, Lord, if everybody keep booking me for shows, and if it's really meant for me to keep doing this music, I want to do it the way I want to do it.
Right.
And I want to have a band. And so if it's meant, then I'm going to get a band.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, this is no exaggeration. Like, the next day, my homeboy, Chris Crosby, calls me. He plays keys. And he was like, yo, what's up, sis? I was like, what's up? And he like, man, I was thinking about you. Like, you was just on my mind. I said, man, let me tell you, I was praying last night, and I asked God to give me a sign on if I'm gonna still do music, then I'm gonna get a band. Actually, I had put a post up, and I was like, I'm thinking about putting a band together, and any musicians interested, then hit me up. Mm-hmm. And that's what he hit me up. He was like, what's up? And I was like, you seen my post? He was like, no, what you say? I said, oh, I had put a post up saying about the band.
Yeah. And
I was like, well, I need your help.
Tap in, but he didn't even.
I was like, I need your help. Help me find some musicians. But I didn't even ask him. Okay. I was like, help me find some musicians. He was like, I'll help you. So we put this band together. And then I get a call like, yo, we want you to perform at the DIA. And I was like, what? I was like, shit. Like, well, this.
Mhm.
So I called him. I'm like, yo, man. And okay, is these musicians locked in? Anyway, ended up being some other musicians that get locked in. So that happened. So when I was praying about, because people had been for a year or so before the pandemic hit, people was like, we'll put posts up randomly. We need some new music for Miz Korona. The world needs you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, I don't even know what the fuck to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, if it's really meant for me to come out with a project, then Lord, you're gonna give me the words, you're gonna give me the inspiration,
Mhm.
and I'm going and that's what's gonna happen.
You're gonna give me what I need. Okay.
You're gonna give me what I need because I had writer's block for 3.5 years.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I write a little verse here, verse there for somebody.
Spurts. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I can't think of shit to write. I'm talking about I'm trying to write stuff and it's terrible. I was like, this is garbage. I ain't gonna like, man, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I just need to just focus on photography, and that's fine. And I was content and I was happy with that. Then it just the whole burst of creativity for this project just came like overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll see
it was already written. It was written. Like,
yeah,
so
we'll
speak,
see. So we'll see what happens with the next thing. I'm at the age of I don't really feel like I have to prove anything.
Yeah. No. You already solidified. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't feel like I have to prove anything anymore. And the only thing that I'm working on perfecting is my eye for shooting.
Okay.
And and getting the clothing line off the ground and popping.
Yeah.
And whatever happens in the midst of that, you know what I'm saying, then so shall it be. I do want to create I do want to drop a project this year sometime around June. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right.
We'll see what happens. I got a couple joints.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Word, dope. And I stay tuned in. So, I probably follow you on every platform that you want. So that's real. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm already gonna be tapped in, like, yo, what's going on? And even if you wanna, even if when you drop, you wanna, come on here and promote and just, let the listeners know what's going on, this my home is your home. Like, you feel me?
Appreciate that. Thank you.
100. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, Miz Korona, you got Triple Peaks out right now, and the Virus out right now. Go grab that. And if you don't have a vinyl, please go get the vinyl. You know what I mean?
I got about how many copies left?
Hurry up. Look, she looking like hurry up.
I'm trying to think. It's probably about 80 copies left, maybe.
Okay. And 80 ain't a lot.
Probably less than that, honestly. I don't even know how many is in these boxes.
You see what I'm saying? So they going fast. So if you don't have one of those vinyls, I suggest you go grab one and get one of these collector's items because it's a classic. Trust me, it's a classic. Miz Korona, I appreciate you for sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me. I'm about to go down here and pull out this damn paintbrush.
Yeah.
It's really a paint stick. I got to paint some ceilings.
You know what I'm saying? Just one of the many hats that you wear. You feel me?
I done became a homeowner in the midst of the pandemic.
Okay,
I got to paint these ceilings so I can get this house ready for this woman to move in here next month. I got to get it done.
Well, I salute to you and I appreciate you once again, Miz Korona.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Tell your wife thank you, and make sure you shoot me that address. I got a nice little gift bag for you.
Appreciate you. Will do.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Peace.